Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Tarot by Izzy. Thank you for sharing your time with me today. I know time is precious. Today I'm going to be doing a wee reading on one of my favourite characters in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial. And this is, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, it is the security guard, the doorman, um, Alejandro Romero's evidence. I just saw a wee bit of it and I was giggling. I just thought he's a star. He actually should have his own television show. I thought he was amazing. So I thought I'll just do a wee reading from his perspective regarding the evidence that he's been giving. What I did was I had a wee look at online at some of the articles, and one of the articles I do see, I think it is, if I can get my cursor to play right, it's the Evening Standard by Tristan Kirk. Doorman vapes during, and it's in quotes, bizarre testimony to Johnny Depp v Amber Heard libel trial. It says a security guard at Johnny Depp's West Hollywood penthouse vaped during an, in quotes, bizarre deposition to the star's libel battle with Amber Heard, describing the moment he had to investigate a possible intruder, which he believed just to be a dog. Laughter could be heard as Alejandro Romero's evidence, pre-recorded in his car, it was a hoot, it was brilliant, was played to the Virginia courthouse as the doorman described Heard and her friend Rocky Pennington reporting scratches on the door. They were talking about someone trying to get into their unit, and in my head I was saying, you really think someone's trying to get into your unit? He said. There's scratches 4 inches above the floor on your door. That was a dog trying to get into your unit. And I think at this point, Johnny Depp's just about finding it really difficult to contain himself. They were so afraid I actually went. They asked me to go inside the unit just to check room by room to make sure that no one was actually there. Depp was caught on camera chuckling in court as Romero showed his exasperation at having to carry out the search. I did that, it's part of my job, make sure they are safe. But really, I didn't understand why they wanted me to do that. The doorman drove around parts. That's brilliant, I love it. Drove around during parts of his testimony, became frustrated with the process as he spoke to lawyers through a phone mounted on his dashboard, and at one point pulled out a vape. I love him. Oh, Heard's lawyer Elaine Bredehoft called it the most bizarre deposition she'd ever conducted, while Judge Penny as Karate commented, I've never seen that before. So really, I just thought he made my day. He is the real star, not Johnny Depp and not Amber Heard. I thought he was amazing. I thought he was congruent in the fact that he really couldn't be bothered. He just didn't want to be stuck in the middle of it. So we're using for this one the Meryl Tarot because it's the drama queens. And maybe unfairly I'm judging most people to be drama queens in the acting circles, and certainly there have been some comments in relation to histrionic allegations regarding Amber Heard, and then we have Amber and her friend worrying, panicking about scratches on the door and that someone might be in there. So let's have a wee look at the influences here. Let's see if we can move this to the side so you can see a bit better. And I might use the Sacred Destiny Oracle just to see how he's feeling. So it's a normal hexagon. And please, I refer you to my disclaimer. This is for entertainment purposes only. It's for laughs and giggles. Um, Not to be taken seriously. It won't stand up in a court of law. If you are experiencing any of the issues that have been highlighted in the court, please seek professional advice. That's what I ask you to do. So, in the first case, what on the day he was giving evidence while he was vaping and driving around, what was the underlying influences? What was going through his mind? I'm almost scared to ask this. And it was a five of swords. Okay, we'll have the five of swords and the upright. So the five of swords is usually uh, a Pyrrhic victory. Um, it was, there's been a fight, someone's walked away, but it's been a hollow, shallow victory. Was that what had happened on that day in relation to the Five of Swords? Was that what he was experiencing or feeling? The aftermath of this Pyrrhic victory? Someone had walked away. Was that Johnny Depp? And the person left behind was Amber Heard, and he felt that he was the one that was dealing with the Pyrrhic victor. Um, the person who's left who feels, it's quite a shallow victory, and the show of their own self-interest and um, promoting themselves and trying to make them look like themselves look like they succeeded. It's like, ha ha ha, I won, look at me. But eventually it catches up. You then start meeting resentments, and instead of getting the acknowledgements and the praise that you want, you then get despair. Um, People really don't want to know you. That's what I would say there. So that was the underlying influences. Now, I'm always afraid to turn this one over. So it looks like on that night, there was something going on. There was a Pyrrhic victory. There was one person who walked away. And as you can see in that card, they're walking away and there's a person there standing. It's a hollow victory. So how did he see Amber? Amber Heard. How does he view her? He just sees her as a total disaster, a crash and burn. Um, and this is a Kramer versus Kramer card, and it's a bit ironic because we've got this defamation case going on, and it's following on from a divorce. And I won't say what the allegations were in the divorce in case it doesn't get through YouTube um, filters, because I'm still trying to get my head around this. So what you saw was there's Amber. It's just total crash and burn. In relation to that, as I say, it's a major arcana. This is how he's been viewing her. It's in the reverse, and that can be, that what he sees in or sees in Amber was that she's afraid. She's afraid of change. She likes to be in control, and she's certainly had a real warning because of the situation she's created. She's had a Pyrrhic victory. She is now has a crash and burn with the tarot, and she's now in a state of fear and warning. And basically, it's saying you created this situation, and how are you going to get yourself out of this? What opportunities can you do to soften the blow, so to speak? How can you turn it around so you can start to rebuild and recreate? So that's how he sees or saw Amber Heard. How does he see Johnny Depp? He sees Johnny Depp as the King of Pentacles. Now, sometimes the King of Pentacles can be Well, moving forward, my apologies, it's a Knight of Pentacles. And it is a money card as well, and it can be moving forward. It can be like a sort of slow and steady approach to things as well. So it certainly sees Johnny more as someone who has been taking his time plotting. I don't mean that in a negative way, I mean that in a sort of positive way. It's slow and steady wins the race. He's using tried and tested methods. He plods onwards with patience and reliability. And he's just seen Johnny Depp as a person who takes things day by day, step by step. He's nobody's fool, I would say. And that Johnny Depp takes his duties very seriously, and he dedicates himself to anything that he applies himself to. So that's how Romero views Johnny Depp. Right, what influences does he think were in play that night where Amber Heard and her friend Rocky Pennington reported reported scratches on the door, which he then subsequently thought it was a dog? So the Hierophant in the reverse. So they were out of touch with their higher well-being. They had lost that. The higher well-being is knowledge. It's the higher self, the higher sense. It can be a learned person. It can be religion. It could be the Pope. It can be someone of substance, you know. Maybe that's a bit ironic while I'm saying the word substance, and I let that out unintentionally. But as I say, it's another major arcana, and this is what he thinks was influencing the situation that night. And it was almost like there was a state of a rebellion going on, maverick type of behaviour, and was basically out of control, you know. Um, and they can be controlling people nature themselves. This can be the negative side of the upright hierophant. They themselves can be very controlling and maybe using a situation to create an event to support the idea that there were issues still rumbling on from the Pyrrhic victory, and he was right. I think he was very wary of the situation that night. I think he felt uncomfortable about being asked to go into the room or into the apartment or penthouse because he wasn't sure of the reasons, because logically what he could see was there were scratches on the door 4 inches from the bottom, and it looked like dog scratches, and it just didn't make sense to him what was going on that day. And quite clearly we can see that there because the Hierophant was in the reverse. Okay, so what did Johnny Depp think about the doorman's evidence? As he was obviously was trying to stop himself from laughing out loud. Temperance. I think he saw temperance is balance. You know, everything is in sync, is in balance. And I think what he could see was um, the doorman, the concierge, he was getting slightly intemperate, out of balance, and not necessarily happy. He was giving into his addictions, and his addictions was the vape. So I think Johnny was having a good giggle about that because he did come across as being very authentic and genuine. So, whose reputation does he, I mean the doorman, the concierge, think will be most damaged by the ongoing defamation trial? And again, this card reading is allegedly, it won't stand up in a court of law, it's laughs and giggles. Okay. And the Hanged Man in the reverse. So it's not really giving me a definite who he thinks. Because although it is the Hanged Man, Isabella, that's my name, Isabella. A measure for measure. The Hanged Man in the reverse. We've just seen it's still stuck. It's stuck yet. It's still to be decided. I'm going to go towards, and I'm hoping it's not my internal bias it's showing. I think it might be Amber that he's thinking could be coming out currently at the present moment, whose reputation is being damaged. As I say, but it's a major arcana. It's in the reverse, in the upright. It's sacrifice, it's patience, and you can feel you're sort of stuck. You're sort of looking at things from a different perspective. Uh, but this way, I think it is. He feels it is Amber, and that things are coming back to haunt her. Confrontations. She delays. This has been ongoing for some time, and she's getting worn down. This is wearing her down. Right, finally, in relation to this one, who does he think, the doorman, who does he think the outcome or the verdict of the defamation trial will favour? Now, I have been saying or indicating that I don't know whether when Amber Heard was on the stand, something is going to happen. If they're going to try and come to some kind of negotiation, it doesn't get that far. But I think Johnny's going to want to take it the whole way. We'll wait and see. So who does he think the outcome will favour? Well, it's balance. It's the Six of Pentacles. It's money. It's like 50-50. It's charity. So, as you can see from the card there, it is very much in the balance. He's not quite sure, quite certain, well, probably because he's not heard the evidence that Amber Heard and her witnesses, her supporters, are going to give. Interesting. You know, it is the giving and receiving card. So is there going to be giving and receiving? Is it going to be a 50-50 outcome? Is Johnny Depp going to be charitable? Is he going to say, okay, he's not going to give out or give up? He will only come to the resolution that satisfies him and clears his reputation. I've always said it's not necessarily to do with the money, even though we've got a Pentacles card here, because that's a charity card. And that's giving and receiving card. He is more interested in clearing his reputation. I think in particular as a father, that is what hurts him the most, is how his children view him, because he's a role model. So that's interesting to see how that'll go. So or that final card here, because it's very much a 50-50. Now this set of cards, it's a Sacred Destiny deck, and just have a couple of, oops, that just popped out there. Diligence. I think the doorman, the concierge, Romero, is very much a diligent type of character. And he will always be a diligent type of character, and he's using his due diligence in relation to his observation of the trial, so it's not necessarily coming to quick conclusions. So, without any further ado, and I think that diligence meets up with the Six of Pentacles, because any proposals will need to be very closely scrutinised. Any proposals. So, without any further ado, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed that today. Please help me in my pursuit of the 6 degrees of separation, because somebody knows somebody who knows somebody, and that I can go to Hollywood and California and do Route 66. It's all on my bucket list. So please like, subscribe and share, and tune into the behaviour panel, because they're going to be looking at the body language as well. Have fun, take care, and thank you. Bye.